yes, please.
To the discussion. I think there's one area which we have not fully capitalized on, and I've heard Shyam. And I think it boils down to our educational system from primary, secondary, before they come to college, is this thing about the attributes that a sporting talent go through, the qualities that can be translated to competencies when they leave the sport into the working world. And if you look at the qualities that the great sport people here have, like the ability to bounce back after a failure, discipline, where I find perhaps at some point is to look at how we can inculcate some of these values into our education system, starting from preschool to primary school, whereby taking part in a sport, be it running, be it swimming, it's part and parcel of a healthy education system. It shouldn't be, if I may quote, this is anecdotal, but it's a fact because I lived through that, is it's raining, no PE, or you didn't do well, no PE. It becomes what I call a relegated activity. And I think we have to change the mindset of the younger ones, whereby the parents recognize that the attributes that come with sport, not the sport itself, but the attributes of bouncing back, confidence, interacting with
resilience.
people, resilience, are actually very important attributes to learning how to learn new skills in the new world. And I think those days of hierarchical as well as rote learning are over. Today it's about, if I need to find out about this, let's Google, let's find out more about it without going into a structured classroom to say this is what. And this is specifically the area I think sportsmen have an edge, because they learn to interact, they learn to come up with solutions to better themselves. And I think, and this leads to this thing about being open to foreign talent, because I believe that having foreign talent here should not be a threat. If you start at a young age in primary school, having a child from any part of the world, they dress the same, they go to canteen, tuck shop, they just compete and they get to accept each other. And I think that's where we should, maybe this is the right time, because some of the catalysts are there, but I caution us not get too carried away with this SEA Games success, yeah, because we are known to put all our resources together when it's a home event and we turn it really well. Look at the YOG, we did it really well. But what happened to the team after that? There was no follow through, or maybe there have been, but not sufficient. But I think what it means also at the primary school and secondary school, can we have a secretariat that is inter-ministerial, be it sports, youth, SAF, MINDEF, or the higher learning, where they come together and say, you know, what is the dream that we can paint for our young? And how do we communicate with the parents to say, you know what, there's nothing wrong in playing table tennis, or nothing wrong in taking up squash. Remember, squash was such a powerful sport we had, and we just lost it. I used to be a fan of squash as well. So I think this is an opportunity time for us to refocus on the youth, our education system, because I think sport is a very, very powerful enabler. Because if you look at all the competencies that the big CEOs of big companies are looking for in the new world, it's not about how well you do in chemistry or physics. It's really how do they relate with people?
Sure.
How do we cope with pressure? How do they operate within a mixed matrix environment? Can they perform? So I hope this would actually allow us to start thinking about the attributes rather than the sport itself. Thanks,
Kok Fan. Ben, you made a very interesting speech in Parliament as part of an adjournment motion. You highlighted 10 areas that we need to start focusing on. Yeah, and one of those areas was about building a sports culture. Yes. I'm paraphrasing what you said. You know, would you want to? I mean, that relates to the point that Kok Fan is saying. You need to build a culture of being interested in sports. You shared the example of some of the parents who came to you. You want to share some of those examples?
No, exactly. So far, this discussion, we've been talking about high-performance sports, elite sports, sporting systems, sports excellence funding. But interlinked and very closely interlinked with that is high participation. Right? And high participation starts preferably when you're young, in the schools. That's why our school system is very critical. It's got a key role in this whole equation. From what I can see, and I think it's very obvious to the others as well, because the speech resonated with so many people, that there are a lot of gaps still in the school system. Right? There's still room to improve. Right? For example, if you look at the PE system, students still feel like they're forced to do it. And if you look at the school sports, right, why does this school do this sport or that sport? It's the motivations medals. The benefits that Kok Fan mentioned, resilience, teamwork, you don't even need to compete at a high level to learn all those things. So the emphasis at school level should be participation. And if we understand that it's about participation, then you must give students opportunities to participate. Right? Often you find that a child wants to join the gymnastics team, goes for the tryouts, doesn't make it, and this is primary 1. How good you expect a primary 1 kid to be, right? Doesn't make it and is excluded from the team. So that poor kid wants to do gymnastics, is interested in sports, but is denied that opportunity.
Actually, from my own experience, I come from RI. During my time, RI and SGI were the top soccer teams. And both schools scrapped soccer. And to my horror, the reason why they scrapped soccer was because it wasn't winning the national medal. Yeah. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah, on the podium, there's only 3 places.
Yeah.
First, second, third. And if every school thinks that, oh, if I can't podium, then I don't take part, then in every sport, there will only be 3 schools.
No, but also, Ben, I think for me, the attitude about resilience is, you better go back and win it back, instead of give it up because you lost it the first time or second time. You know, I mean, I think that's the attitude that we're talking about. But what are some of your thoughts as sportsmen? And anyone has a view on this? Kadir.
The olden days, I think we have sports culture. Everybody plays sports. You know, sometime during the badminton fever, you know, there are people selling plastic rackets. They are playing with plastic shuttlecock along the pathways everywhere, you know, and they are playing sports. There are culture, sports culture during our time. But now I don't know, as Dr. Ben says, that only schools, they want to compete, be the podium, that's all. So now, how do we encourage people to play sports?